Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Jacksepticeye video, and it's a really interesting video because the title intrigued me. I'm sorry to everyone I met at New York Comic Con. Now, I'm assuming it's because of A, the whole issue with the wristbands, and B, the fact that he got stung in the eye by a wasp on the second day that he was there. That's probably why the video was titled that. So, I'm honestly curious on what Sean has to say about his experience at Comic-Con. So anyways, I might as well just get right into it and see what he has to say about his experience at New York Comic-Con. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
Oh boy, what a couple of weeks it's been, huh? Recently I just did a video talking about how I broke my toe, still all bandaged up. You can't really
good
see
gosh.
it. Yes, for free. Can we get over the feet thing on the internet? I just got back from New York.
Me too.
I was at Comic-Con.
Same.
But a couple of things happened and I just wanted to go over the journey. So, broke the toe, and then I was worried that I couldn't go to New York. Turns out it was fine. I went to an orthopedic surgeon the day before I went. He said that my toe is not too messed up that I should be able to walk in it, which I was. So I walked around New York and went to the convention, and
I was at that panel
in like 4 years. I forgot what it was like. It was so wonderful.
Yeah, it's
Thank
been
you
a
to everybody
while.
who came out. I had a great time. I got to hang out with a bunch of people who work on the comic book.
Hey.
Who all actually for the comic book do more work than I do. Like, I come up with the idea top level, and I've had those ideas for
I
so
didn't know
long
he
that
had
now
the
they're just
tattoos
trickling down to
underneath
other
his
people who
muscles
are actually
here.
writing it, actually
I didn't know he
drawing
got
it. We had
more
Sophie,
tattoos.
who helps co-create
That's Turquoise.
the Ego story, who many of you know as Turquoise Magpie. We have Susie, who does the art for Marvin, Megan, who does the art for Jackie Boy Man, and then we had Alejandro and James, who do the stories for both. It was great. It was nice to meet them.
Yeah,
in
it was
person
nice
and
meeting all
chat
those
and do
guys.
Panels, and thank you to everybody who came to those panels.
It was
Despite
fun.
doing this job for this long, I'm still like, oh god, I hope people show up. I haven't really talked about the comic convention that much, but people did, and it was wonderful.
Oh!
Came to the
Hey! There's me! There's me!
And be reminded why you do what you
I saw
do.
the guy
Just to
filming,
try
I'm
and
like,
remind
what's
yourself
going
of
on
the
here?
humans that are involved in this entire thing. I didn't get to walk around the convention, which
Oh, that
sucks.
sucks.
Okay, so I'm going to complain a little.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Any of you who came to the convention, you know what a shit show it was.
Oh, well, yeah.
The first day I got there, I had a signing at the Bad Egg booth.
Yes.
That Comic-Con themselves said to do, and then when I sat down
Oh, there's
to
me
do the
again!
signing, there were so many
There's
people
me
there.
again!
A lot of people didn't
This
know they were
video!
supposed to get wristbands.
I was in this
also didn't
video.
know that. I would have warned you if I knew. I only found out after.
Oh,
the
he
fact,
didn't
so
know
I
about the
apologize
wristbands
to anyone
either?
who couldn't meet me because the whole thing was organized so fucking terribly.
Oh, yeah, it
Bad
was.
Egg, or me, that's the convention themselves. Not knowing that
I'm
a
signing
YouTuber could actually
Pokemon
draw a crowd,
cards.
not taking it seriously,
The
which
fuck?
I've had conventions before where that's happened. It's nothing new, but it should be fixed by now. And then they came over and complained and said like, oh, you're blocking traffic. Oh, it's a fire hazard. I'm like, bitch! And then I wasn't allowed to take pictures with people anymore.
Yeah!
I took pictures with a few people in the beginning. And then
Yeah,
they
it was
came over and
like,
yelled at us for
dude,
taking
like,
too long and to
did
speed
you
it
not
up and to get
anticipate
out of there.
Jacksepticeye to have a
So
big
rushing
crowd like
everybody.
this?
And I was
My
like,
God.
what's the point of a meet and greet then? I always feel so bad when that happens. I had to say no to people who asked for pictures. I'm so
Oh.
sorry. I didn't know. They suddenly were like,
Oh, come in the back entrance where all the buggies and carts are, where the celebrities.
Oh, good
come.
God.
that's not to downplay the celebrities. That's just to say that they didn't consider us something like that. They just thought, oh, YouTuber plays games, have a comic book, whatever, just come in and do whatever you want. So they brought us in the back entrance and used the little buggy cart.
Yeah,
to go through
it was
the
a shit show
maintenance,
on that
and then
first
brought us
day,
into
but
the green room,
the second
where
day
that's where
he
we
was in
should have been the
another
whole time.
room
And
doing
I'm
the
not lying to
signing.
be like, oh, I deserve royalty, I deserve this and that or the other. Like, I was fine doing that, but don't complain that that's what you did to us, which we could have warned them that this type of stuff has happened in the past. But oh well. Say
Well,
lovely, it's
they
over now.
underestimate
But again, I just
YouTubers
feel
for
sorry
sure,
anyone
I
who
feel
came
like.
all that way and then couldn't get a
Axe,
signing or
I
couldn't
think, is
meet me or
another one
anything
of
like
them.
that. I apologize. On the more positive side of things, the next day was much better. We did
Oh, yeah,
signing
yeah,
and
yeah,
signing
yeah.
day,
It was
we
way
went
better
through
on the
and
second day
I'm
because
still
you got
sort of
moved to
torn
another
on
room
meet-and-greets 'cause I
entirely.
really like meeting you guys, but at the same time, you want to get through a lot of people. And I don't charge for meet and greets. There are some
That
people
was
I've seen
another
at
interesting
conventions that
thing I
charge, like,
found
150
fascinating.
to
Like, it was
up to
all for free. All you had to do was
$500.
first
That
come
feels really
first. It
gross
was
to
first
me.
come first serve when it came to
don't
the
vibe with
wristbands
that
and all that.
whatsoever. I feel like people already pay enough to get into the convention to come see you, paying for travel and everything. Like, they already put limits on it anyway of who can come in. I think it was like 80 to 100 people that I was allowed to meet. So to have to pay on top of that, I hate that.
Yeah,
that
that's
does not vibe
ridiculous.
with me whatsoever. So it's like you can't have the best of both worlds. Otherwise, you're going to be there for like 10 hours, which I have done before, and that's also not that fun because you want to have
Have the same energy the whole
time.
Because after a
about 2
while, you'll be
hours,
like
that
drained,
energy
like, ugh.
fades quite fast, and it's a lot of like, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you so much. You want a picture? Okay, bye. But I hope that the people who got to meet me
Yes.
still found value in it.
Oh, I
Because
did.
then
I
that
definitely
means that
did.
I will keep doing them.
I
stopped
definitely
doing them
did
for a while
find
because I
value
just
in
felt
meeting you
people
and
weren't
shit.
getting
I made up for
enough
the
out of it.
photo
So, no,
that
that's
we
up to you
took
guys.
on
I did
Moment
have some
House that
cool
was
moments
botched.
at the green room where, like, I walked in and to talk about me for a second.
Oh, God.
I walked in and at a table was Billy West, who is the voice actor in like Futurama. He does Ren and Stimpy, but he's like Fry,
Oh, really?
Farnsworth, and Zoidberg, as well as a bunch of others. I watched like behind the scenes of how Futurama's put together, and he's always the one where I'm like locked in and like a child being like, how does he do that? I want to do that. Like, I want to be Billy West. I want to be that type of voice actor. Because he's just incredible. I love him so
Sean
much.
has done
Everyone's
voice
like, "Go say
acting
hi
in
to him." And I was
games.
like,
I think he did a couple in Bending the Ink
I
Machine
guess that's
games.
just still like imposter syndrome, but there was so many cool people there. And then Cameron Monaghan walked in.
Oh, that guy
because
from the
he's in
Star Wars games, and he was
that
also
come
the
out, Jedi
Joker in
Fallen
the
Order and
Gotham
Survivor.
series as well.
He walked in and I was like, talking to Quinn, who does socials first, Quinnical, you probably know him on TikTok. But he walked in and I was like, oh, he plays this
Yeah, I
guy
think
in
I saw
Star
that
Wars.
guy.
That's
He was
so
filming,
cool.
I think.
And then as
some of
Cameron
the
walked
stuff.
over to get coffee or whatever, he like turned around and looked at me and I was like, oh fuck, he heard me. Oh god, cringe. Oh fuck. And then a couple of minutes passed and I went over to put something in the bin and he came over and he's like, hey man, I'm Cam. I love your Silent Hill 2 Let's Plays. I've been watching them before I fall asleep.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome,
oh,
man.
cool, man.
He
Thanks so
knows
much.
you.
When internally I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Somebody knows who I am. Bro knows I exist. That's my queso impression. A while went by, I was waiting for my panel, and Billy West came back in after doing his thing, and he was standing on his own. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go say hi. And I went over and chatted to him, and I was explaining how much I loved him, and I was like, Futurama was literally on my TV this morning as I was watching it. That's like a full circle childhood moment.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very nice, talked about Ireland a bit, talked about my accent. Really cool. I was glad I did that. And then
Ireland.
he said something that he was talking to Roger Clark about it. And I was like, oh, Roger, I know Roger. I was like, maybe he's at the convention. And then I was sitting down. The guy who plays Javier came in from Red Dead. And I turned to him
really?
and I was like, I think he's in Red Dead. I think he plays Javier. And I did that fucking creepy thing.
I
where
saw,
looked at the picture.
I knew that
I was
Kevin
like, yeah,
Smith,
that's him. I did the same thing. Like Ella Purnell was sitting behind us.
Elizabeth Olsen was there.
Cool. She's so fucking cool. She's in the Fallout show and she plays Jinx in Arcane. I think her
Oh, wow.
voice as Jinx is so fucking awesome. And I was like, oh man, that's so cool. I'm not gonna bother her. She's just awesome. I'll just admire from a distance like a freak. You know, or like, I do that to you. You're not freaks, don't worry. But then some more, like the guy who plays Dutch came in, the guy who plays Micah came in, and I was like,
Good God.
fucking awesome. I love those guys. For what it's worth, people, I did a thing a while back where I said I didn't play Red Dead 2 all the way and I didn't finish it and I didn't really like it. That was because I wasn't in the mood for that game at that time. I have since gone back and finished it and absolutely adored it. I think it's one of the greatest video
Didn't
games
he
ever
have to
made.
make
I
that
fucking love it.
clear in a
Micah's
TikTok
daughter
recently?
was there, Peter Blomqvist, and she knew who I was. So when Roger came in, I was like, oh, good to meet you, man. Finally, we hugged and chatted for a while, and then she came over and chatted to us, and she was perfectly lovely. Hi, if you're watching this. I'm probably not. Who else did I meet? Oh, when I was getting off one of the carts at one point, Neil Newbaum was there. I was like, oh, Neil and I follow each other. And I went up, and I was like, hi, Neil. And he was like, hello. And I was like,
Hello.
I'm Jacksepticeye online. He was like, oh, you are? He's like, dude, your stuff is fucking amazing. Hi, how are you? And then a bunch of the others were in the green room as well, like Devora was there, who plays Lae'zel, and Jennifer English was there. I sat in a room with Bruce Campbell at one point.
Oh,
Before
really?
we went out for a panel. They did a panel.
Bruce
fucking love
Campbell,
Bruce
man,
Campbell.
he's
He was
awesome
so
as
cool.
hell. The
He
Evil
looks so
Dead
stylish
and,
groovy. But to get back to the more
Spider-Man.
shitty side of the convention,
Yeah, boy.
I was walking around with a broken toe. We went to the Natural History Museum off Central Park. Super cool, by the way. I'd never.
Oh,
been
yeah,
there.
that they did
That
go
was
to
awesome.
Brooklyn
And then
at
when
one
we
point
came out, I was
too.
like, let's walk around Central Park for a bit. There's a while before the signing. And we did, and then I was like, maybe I should eat before I go. So we stopped at a cart, and I was like, oh man, my eyes are like watering from like the wind. So I was like brushing water out of my eyes. I went up to like brush the water out of my eyes, pushed a fucking wasp into my eye.
Oh!
People don't know this about me. I have an irrational fear of bees and wasps. I had my granny's
Really?
hive at her porch, and one stung me in like the eyebrow.
Ooh.
And I've been fucking terrified.
I had
about
no
it ever
idea
since.
that he
Like,
had a big
Evelyn
fear of
hadn't seen
bees
it
and
until this
wasps.
year when we went to like a Ren Fair thing. A bee came over.
So
and
that's
was like,
literally what happened.
you ever see that clip of Charlie with the cockroach? No, not now! No, there's a wasp! That's what I was like.
That is
I was, like,
me
sitting there, and I was
with
like, oh my
those,
God, I'm gonna turn into the Bear
those
Grylls when he got
spider
stung, his fucking
crickets, those
eyes
cave
puffed up, and it
crickets.
was like this.
Fuck
and I, like, sat
them.
down, and I came back with my corn dog.
Oh
and
my
manager,
God.
Nicole, and she was like, oh fuck. So she was like, I'm gonna go get ice. And she went to the lady who gave me the corn dog and was like, do you have ice? She said no. And then there was a cop lady standing next to us, and she saw what happened. She was like, that's the bee I've been avoiding all day. And she's like, that sucks that happened, I'm so sorry. And then she came over with ice in a tissue. Apparently the lady did have ice, but she didn't want to give it to us. So I just took antihistamines, ibuprofen, and I had ice on my eye. And then after an hour I was like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't notice
but it's not
anything
swelling up to the point
out of
where
the
all my
ordinary
pictures are
with
gonna
his
be red.
eye. Yeah, I didn't notice anything.
And it hurt like hell. After a while, my eye was throbbing, and then my eye socket was throbbing. You know when you get like an injection for the dentist, you can kind of feel where the blood flow is going, where it's carrying the anesthesia. It felt like that. I could kind of like feel where the sting was going down my face and over my eye. And then it started to like connect to the back of my head, and I had a headache during the signing.
Oh,
so if you met me
man.
on the second day during the signing and I seemed kind of out of it,
Look, I totally understand you were, you
so,
know,
we were
probably
at
a
Comic-Con.
little
very up
fucked.
and down for me. I had a great time, but I also had some of the worst time ever. But I'm just glad I didn't have to cancel it over a broken
Thank
toe.
God.
I had to go around. But if I did cancel it,
Oh, that
I
would have
also
been
wouldn't
really
have
terrible.
had to get stung in the face. But also I got to meet a lot of really cool people, and I got to meet a lot of you guys, and we did panels, and everyone got to know about the comic books. And I showed off a trailer for the game.
Oh yeah, the Overnight Watch game. Yeah, that was a good surprise. He said something funny right after, and he says, "Oh, thank God, people cheered."
So look out for that. So thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone who said hi, who got signings, who came to the panels, anything like that. You guys
I
are
went
actually
to the
reason
panel
that we were
and
there.
the second
I know that I've
signing.
been a bit slow on like ego lore and Iris and all.
Look,
that kind
I
of
get
stuff,
it. You're busy
But I've
with
always
shit,
been of the mind
personal
of, I'd rather
life,
do it
etc.
right than just do it. I don't want to just fart out content, but it's really endearing to know that I started all of that stuff back in 2016, and people are still that interested in those.
He said
characters,
something
so
similar
thanks
to
for being
me when
around.
I asked him
Be
that
humble,
question.
you
Like, he
know?
doesn't
But
want to
anyway,
like
that was
just
my trip
put
to
shit
New York.
out.
Trey should have peppered in some clips here and there. That's it. That's all I got. Okay, bye.
Okay. It just ended very abruptly there. That was honestly a pretty interesting video. There was a lot of issues at Comic-Con. On the first day, he did his signing at the Bad Egg Publishing booth on the show floor at Comic-Con, and it caused a lot of fucking chaos with a lot of people. And that's when, like, the security got involved and told everybody that didn't have a wristband to get the fuck out of here. Just scram, essentially. And I was rightfully pissed at that. If you were there, you probably heard me yelling and screaming. I'm a little ashamed at how I acted there because obviously I was very pissed off at the fact that A, they didn't tell us jack shit about any wristbands until the day of. They had months to prepare. They announced his presence at Comic-Con all the way back in May. They could have said maybe a week or two before Comic-Con, they could have tweeted out something like, hey, if you're planning to meet Jacksepticeye, you're going to need a wristband in order to get a guaranteed chance to meet him, blah, blah, blah. If they told us a couple weeks ahead of time instead of the day of, I think it would have been a little bit more organized and a little bit understanding. But the fact that they didn't, that is a little asinine. And Sean even said that he had no idea about the wristband stuff. It was really, really, really bad. It was really bad. Did I mention it was really bad? It was honestly terrible. Another takeaway is obviously we found out how he ended up getting stung in the eye. So he was at a little cart that had, like, I guess food, like corn dogs and stuff. And he had, like, water in his eyes from the wind. So he was rubbing his eyes. And at one point, I guess a wasp or a bee ended up going near his eye. And he just ended up pushing it into his eye. And that's honestly probably when the wasp stung Sean in the eye. Yeah, that really sucks. When I saw him at the signing, there was nothing noticeable. Yeah, he was kind of a little out of it, too. Like, I didn't know he had a headache. But he was still in good spirits. He was still cheerful and stuff. He was very cheerful to me, that's for sure. Like, hell, I even told him about the whole plan I had when I was going to meet him the first day. I was going to be dressing up as Chase Brody. But the whole issue with the wristbands happened, so I couldn't do so. So then here I am the second day dressed up as professional wrestler CM Punk. And then he goes, oh, that's way better. That's much better than Chase. I'm like, I found that funny. And I told him about the whole issue that we had a Moment House and I wanted to make up for the photo. He was like, oh, yeah, sure. And we were able to take the photo together. He's such a down-to-earth guy, man. Like, he really is. He just seems like that kind of guy you want to hang out with at a bar and just talk about life. Another thing to take away from this video is the fact that I'm in the video twice. The first clip you saw was from the second day when his signing got moved to a different room, and I was online. You saw me kind of like do like a peace sign. I saw the guy filming. When I saw the guy filming, I'm like, okay, I see this guy's filming for some reason. I might as well do something cool. I might as well throw a peace sign in the air. They showed the first day and the chaos that you... Look, it was at one point the line wrapped around his booth and then another booth that was on the other side. It got so bad, that's when security got involved. It was so crowded. Like, the line wrapped around the booth. When you saw the clip from the first day, you see me dressed up as Chase Brody right there, just chilling with my cell phone in my right hand and shit. You know? And I'm just like, huh. I didn't even notice the guy was filming at that point. The fact that I was in that video is awesome, man. Like, if you told me that I was going to be featured in the Jacksepticeye video in some capacity, I would have called you crazy. But the fact that I was in this video is awesome. Honestly, I could not believe I was actually in this video. I feel bad for Sean that he had to endure all this unfortunate chaos for Comic-Con. He was not even able to walk around the show floor to look at all the booths, which sucks. I honestly feel bad that he wasn't able to do that. He met a couple of actors and stuff in the green room, like the guy Cameron, the guy who plays that Jedi in the Star Wars Jedi games and who also played the Joker in the Gotham series. He met a couple of voice actors from, Futurama and some other stuff as well. So at least he was able to, have some fun in some capacity. My time at Comic-Con this year is an experience I will never forget, for sure. There was a lot of ups and downs, for sure. But at the end of the day, I was able to meet Jacksepticeye in the end, even though I thought I was never going to be able to, because of the whole issue with the wristbands on the first day. I was kind of crushed after that first day. I was kind of bummed, like, fuck. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get up early and get to the Javits Center on time before the doors opened at 10 a.m. But luckily enough, I did. I like the fact that he showed a clip from the Ultraverse panel where they showed off the first look at the Overnight Watch game. That was a cool surprise. That was a cool announcement. And then after that announcement happened, Jack said, "Oh, thank God people cheered." That was pretty funny. Overall, that's really it on this reaction. That was pretty cool to see me in the video at 2 points. That was pretty cool to see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because I make clips, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also reenact with the cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRD96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!